Good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Live Xmas Special. And not only is it the Xmas Special, but it's also our last show, so it's kind of a big one for us tonight. It's not our usual open mic; it's not open to the public, but we've got some old faces on here, which is great. So I will start with the very left. Brian, how are you?
Doing good. I'm going to be the role of the Grinch tonight, I guess.
Very nice hat. I like it.
It's going to fall off at some point. I can almost guarantee it.
That is not going to fall off. The only way that is going to fall over you and you're going to be inside it. GDR for everyone. GDR's here, everyone. How amazing is that?
Hey, guys.
It's good to see you, Ryan. Yeah, GDR is a special guest with us tonight. Of course, as you all know, GDR has moved on from BP, but he has always been a TFC advocate and has never missed a Christmas special and took some time out this evening to join us tonight. So that was very, very good to see you, GDR. Thank you for that. And, of course, the man, the myth, the legend that is TSM.
Hey, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. How's retirement?
Less stressful, and I get more sleep these days. Yeah, it's pretty good, actually, to be honest.
I'm going to have to try it again sometime.
I'm well chilled.
Okay, and then another blast from the past. And this one's probably an even further blast from the past than anyone else here. We have the wonderful Stu.
If he's about.
Maybe.
On cue, the swearing. Normally, Stu swears quite prolifically through shows, but
he might have forgotten to unmute himself.
Yeah, maybe he did. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Stu will be back in a sec. But we've got Ren coming on tonight as well. I know Ren's running a little bit late, but Ren is going to join us. I'm not 100% sure where Robin is. I did think she was coming in tonight. Some of the other TFC moderators and admins, believe, are coming on, but the show was kind of put up a bit late. That's kind of my fault. But yeah, so Brian, hit us with the bounty. You're the bounty guy.
Yeah, if you want someone in tune with the game tonight, you got me.
You got
and
Brian.
Most weeks, this would be fine. I don't do bounty, but I've got the bounty briefing up, and they've got the main changes up at the top. Half of all your bounty earned is automatically secured. You can't manually bank anymore. You'll always keep half of your unsecured bounty if you are defeated. So the 10K rule is still there. You have to get to 10K unsecured. Now, 10K unsecured, half of it has to be unsecured, so you need 20K total. Remember, algebra from high school is coming back now. So you need to get to 20,000, and I know people were upset about it, but this change is more... It makes hitting player bases viable at basically all times. Because before, with the manual banking, people would have a guard fleet up outside their base that would get hit. They'd know they're about to get hit. They'd manually bank. So it would be unprofitable for the attacker. It'd be unprofitable for the defender because they don't have anything, but they could just go about their business unless certain undocumented features were used in tandem, which might be another reason why it's gone. Dock repairs are halved this time. Good. Just in general, even if I, who is not partaking, were to get hit, my dock would repair in just over 1 hour now, I believe, instead of just over 2. Initial seed amounts are high. You get more points for opting in. I don't know what that means. Someone in chat probably knows what that means. Someone in chat, tell them how many points you get for joining, because I don't know. Amount of Nexus per world. The Golden Nexus, it's down to 3 per world. To generate more alliance versus alliance competition, haha. And apparently, from what I heard last night, a Golden Nexus just suddenly swapped up on someone. An alliance had a Golden Nexus, forsaking another Nexus for that. And then after what would have been the Friday bounty gift, which is not around anymore, I guess there's only the one bounty thing at the end, that Golden Nexus was no longer golden. So that's the thing. New bounty grants and outpost buffs. The outpost buffs now, and as I'm scrolling a little further down, I can see it. they give you deflections instead, and it's a lot less. It looks like 4,000 at the highest level, and upgrading it to level 4 is going to give you 1,200 bounty every 6 hours as opposed to 1,000 bounty. So you're going to get more of that, and that's more secured. That's all well and good. Wow, that's a lot of uranium and resources. But if you're on bounty, it's probably still worth it. The good thing is it's not going to be like before, where if you maxed out your bounty, you'd have plus 75% to defenses, and that means that anyone that attacked you would have to start attacking your outpost very quick, or they would be unable to actually kill the outpost within the 5-minute time limit. People would say you have to get in. The outpost could live for 2, maybe 3 minutes, depending on exactly how it was set up, just the outpost itself. So these changes are meant to make things quicker, more streamlined, and they're meant to make bases matter, which is going to hurt the lowers a little bit, but that's kind of always the case in bounty. Anyone else have any thoughts on these changes? You're all muted.
Sounds like there's been a lot of changes there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The manual bounty thing, I think, is the biggest change. Well, that and the half secured. It changed the whole nature of bounty, and I can't speak to it too much because I'm not in it, so I don't necessarily know. But from what I hear, it's a little confusing because this is the first time that happened, and people don't always read the forums and go read the forums.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the prizes, I'm going to look at the main prizes first. We have our first tier 8 turret in the form of the distortion launcher. I'm sure you... Wait, there wasn't a show during the week, was there? Not this week.
No, we didn't have one this week.
No, it's just this one. It's a radioactive launcher. Everyone that wanted to see it has seen it. It's mediocre damage. It's got a range of 140, but it's got an oil slick-like ability, 5% chance for a fire field that will debuff their spread for 6 seconds. And that's strange because if you're playing the Breacher Dreadnought with the scatters, when you stop, you lose effectively all spread. And this isn't really going to make that much of a difference until you get to really high levels, like 11, 12 stacks or more. And with a 5% chance for this field to even hit, I don't know about that. Duration 7 seconds. Oh, go to cap 1. Okay, so this is the range of 50. Sometimes it'll leave a fire field, and that is an oil slick. You go really, really fast. You can't turn. That's going to be used to try to trick people into getting... there's a Stu. Hi, Stu. Stu?
Well, just a second there.
Monster.
There is another old school TFC legend there in the form of Monster. How's it going, buddy?
Sort your mic out, useless kid.
Yeah.
It begins. Oil slick. You get him to go fast. Hopefully they'll run into a corner, or they won't be able to stop in time, and they'll run into a short-range turret and take a good pounding. Next down, we've got the Zenthite Armor D6TA. I think this is a really interesting armor. Instead of giving a minimum amount of armor points and increasing your deflection, this actually gives you 750,000 armor points. It looks like it's a little heavier than some of the other armors, but it gives you 50% attack field resistance. Because a lot of people will use a sort of attack system as a special if they feel it necessary. This might take the spot of that special, so you could focus it on other things. But I think people are going to be considering it more for the 750,000 armor points that it gives you, especially in a deflection environment. This looks to be a lot stronger. D6 STSL gives you stun and slow resistance of 25% each instead of the D6TA. And both of these, one per ship, 1,200 tons. So play with that what you will. I don't know if you run into raid issues on the Tier 8 Conquerors. I don't, but I use light. I use light specials with respect to weapons, and I'm in defense. So I don't know.
Brian, you've got 8 minutes to fill, man. Come on.
Oh, 8 minutes to fill. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give it a shot. one of the things that I see is interesting here is, well, first off, there's no damage bonus for tier 8 like there was in tier 7. So you don't need to get 4 of these turrets, but one of these turrets is 20,000 points, and you can get up to 8 of them. I don't know why anyone would need 8 of these turrets in any capacity. It took me a minute to remember that there was no stacking damage bonus, so you can't even get that. It looks like the only thing I could think of is if you want to try to line a channel with your oil slick fields, but there's such low fire field chance for any of these. In practice, that might be what you want. The fire field's going to happen one time in 20. You've got a salvo of 6. You've got 8 of these. So 48 shots in a salvo that last for not too long, and the attacker can just outsmart your fire field by, stopping and not moving. And that's really good with the Breacher Dreadnought that's out right now. So I think this is going to be useful. And it's a good thing, I think, that they put in a utility turret, something like a Glacial, instead of the super-powered short or mid-range version of a tier 8 turret that's going to nearly negate or entirely negate a lot of your tier 7 stuff, where you'd only be able to use like your missile storm cruiser with its super high pen deflection and put everything on it that gives it more pen deflection, and then it can take that, but it dies to everything else. So it's good that they didn't just blow tier 7 content out of the water, especially when tier 7 and tier 8, as of right now, they really are looking to work together between the small increases from tier 7 to tier 8 in terms of at least the armors on the base defense side. Now, on the numbers of the ship side, that's a little less balanced. It's like 3.6 million up to 6 point whatever million armor for the Conquerors. The deflections are bigger, although the higher deflection potential is going to be on your tier 7 Conquerors. Yeah, Stu, sorry. No one knows what I'm just going to be talking for a while, apparently, because I'm the only one that knows what's up. It's going to be great.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, I've not played Bounties. I think you're the main man. You're in the loop here, Brian.
But I don't play Bounty. Everything is on fire. Nothing
so tell
is
me,
fine.
out of the prize list, then what would you go for? It doesn't. Would you think the turret's worth having? Would you just go for the armors? What's going to rock your boat?
I think the armors are good. I think they're going to be great. I think they're going to be even better on your tier 7 stuff, because that's a lot more armor points as percent of total. It's like 20% of a tier 7 hull's armor, as opposed to about 10-15% of a tier 8's. The flagships are okay. The scopes and forces, I think a lot of people got those during the Krampus event. Right now, the Curator's not so bad because it has the buffs to its own weapon. The ballistic and what's the other type on it? See, I can't even remember. It's ballistic and radioactive. That's the one, because we have the other ones. The Curator and its bits, I think, are good because that's going to give you something to stop cannon breachers. Going down the line, the Revenant's okay, I guess, but a lot of people are using Witch Doctors. That seems to be the go-to hull alongside the breachers, and it doesn't look like it's in here, which is strange because the Revenant, which was released later, is in here. So I think maybe I don't know why it's not in there, if I'm honest. Maybe they hoped you got it in Conqueror's Gamble, which I still don't like because you're hoping to get one of many different things for PvP, and it's already over, so there's no point in talking about it. Plate 3s, MC Plate XR Plate 3, those are very good. The highest CTCO plate you can get, 2. 3 was in last raid, and it's just not in here, it looks like. Build tokens. Do note that there is another penalty, or I guess reduction in build times. It's half time on your tier 7 Defender and Conqueror hulls through the 26th. So right when there's bounty and a big PvP event, you get half off on your builds that are too busy repairing from being smashed. So, Merry hecking Christmas? I don't know. See? I learned to not swear. Hi,
Well,
Ren.
Ren,
Save me.
Hey,
Help.
Ren, are you in the car?
I am. I mean, Saturdays are usually busy, so I'm doing the best I can.
Well, don't crash.
Hey, buddy.
No, I'm parked. I was
All right.
driving. Hey, Mark.
How are you, mate?
Good. You guys all done Christmas shopping?
I'm all done, mate. Yeah.
Haven't even started.
We haven't exchanged gifts yet, but Mark said he's got me something really nice. So.
Nice. Hey, Stu, how are you?
Not bad, you, mate.
Good. Long time no talk.
So
Definitely.
let me get this straight. You've pulled over in a random place to speak about battle pirates on a Christmas show.
No,
on the
to
TFC
see
show.
you guys, not to talk about.
Yeah.
Because there are not people around you right now just like looking like, well, what's this guy doing? Why is he talking to a screen? No?
No, they'll just think it's the usual. He's watching porn.
Is that why he's smiling all the time?
Oh, hello. Who's that handsome chappy over there?
Merry Christmas.
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend has been revealed.
How you doing?
TFM.
On camera. Look at
Oh, I
that.
didn't know this was a face reveal as well.
Well, it depends which face, to be fair.
Yeah, which end you want?
You know, we don't want to see all of you. You know.
Oh, that's all right. I'll turn mine off then. All right.
Yeah, Mankini, mate. You will.
Well,
So we're done with bounty. What's the next topic, for God's sake, before we keep going down that road?
Let's have a
The
look.
next topic is the combination Brian has of headphones and the Christmas hat. Like it's working
Yeah,
real
so
nice there
I did
for
a
you,
bit
Brian.
of structural engineering to figure this one out. I'm a half a
can see
mechanical
that.
engineering major before I took an arrow to the knee. And so this hat is probably not going to fit on my head, but it fits over the headphones just right.
So what you're saying is you need Kickside to nerf that hat.
those headphones are
The
gigantic.
headphones and the hat.
They look like
Okay.
those really old speakers. You know when you carry like a cassette on your shoulder. That's like
Oh,
those
like
headphones-
boombox,
those
yeah.
headphones can actually get satellite feeds like directly.
It looks like his
Yeah,
head's
I
being
can talk to
voodooed.
the aliens just fine. I just have to dial this thing in right.
There you go.
Has Monster got a new headset yet? Has he sorted himself out?
I think he's just sitting back and watching. He's like, this is a train wreck. I'm going to sit here. This
well,
train wreck is amazing.
you know.
Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, more importantly, GDR, tell me about your life. How's things? Come on. I want some gossip.
I don't have any gossip, man. Everything's going well. No, yeah, really enjoyed my time at Kicks for sure. Loved the team I worked with. For context, I'm here as an individual, not representing any particular company. I have nothing really exciting to say. I moved away for family reasons. So
Special
that
guest.
was part of the change.
Stick to that. That's good.
So, yeah, right, yeah.
Is
Well
there a
done,
gun
Lucy.
pointing at the back of your head right now?
There is a Lucy here.
Yay!
Here.
Can you not hear?
Hold on.
It's not a multi-use headset. People are going to
Hi.
think we're doing some kind of soft-core porn.
Hi, Lucy. I didn't just hear that.
Take them out.
Well, no, what do you mean?
Just take it
Not in
out.
front of the guys. If I take them out, then they're not going to hear the mic. Hang on, I might be able to. If I change.
You just take the head, mute yourself, take the headset off of you, put the
Brian's
headset
hat.
onto her, and we can hear her.
Well, that is we've been quite discussing Brian's hat. What do you think of it?
These are the headphones.
Brian,
that
she
get
can't
all the
hear
comments
you.
No, I
apparently.
can't. I
It's
can
not-
hear
yeah.
it. Either.
I like the contrast between Brian's hat and Lucy's hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hat, like my hat is overcompensating for nothing. It's actually an accurate description of everything, including the giant ball that you see. Get out of my face.
The show just got better all of a sudden.
Yeah, the show just got a lot better. Our watching now count is trending
Hello,
upward.
better version of Liam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It's weird being back on here.
So, Lucy,
Isn't it?
how's the bounty for you? How's it going?
Oh yeah, I play all the time. Like I'm just amazing. I smash loads of bases, you know.
Nothing
Still-
changes.
I was going to say something else, but we're not going to go back there again. So
Are you still being smashed every day? That's what you're going to talk about.
yeah, I was trying to avoid that point, but seeing as you brought it up. No, I haven't played. I stopped playing ages ago. I just couldn't get back into it. The game just totally like went downhill for me, and I was like, I'm not putting money into it, so I just stopped playing.
Makes sense.
I just stopped playing. I know my dad still plays, Liam obviously still plays, but that's it. I don't know any original player that I played with. No one plays anymore. It's kind of sad.
Well, it's also the fact that when you take like 2 weeks off in Battle Pirates, it's actually the equivalent to 2 years off.
Yeah, it's so
So
bad.
it's actually quite hard to get back into the game.
Well, it's
I
funny.
used to love it.
It's funny you just said that because I mean I was just listening to Brian there going on for like 15 minutes and I didn't understand a word he was saying.
Well, this is what I mean. Like he was talking, I understood the word prizes and that's about it. The rest of it's just foreign.
And one of the problems is that's becoming a week now. Instead of 2 weeks off, it's a week. They have events every weekend. They've got VXP weekend right after Bounty, and I have some words on that for later. They've got, the week after the raid is VXP. Then it's Bounty. Then it's a seasonal event because apparently one event a month is not enough. So we have another raid that doesn't have half repair. So that's fun. Which gives you items you need to be able to succeed in the next month's raid. By the way, I'm trying so hard right now. This is hard. And then the last is probably going to be another VXP weekend, if I'm honest, because the first one they gave us, they owe us another one. And they owe us another one that's properly researched because I guess the new hires just weren't paying attention when it was told several times throughout the course of months, but you don't get VXP from damaging buildings. And this is Siege, which is all buildings. So you have to run in and die. And the VXP looked to be tuned such that that didn't matter. You would get very little from death. From 3 kills, I remember getting my last Siege fleets up to 70% rank or so. And now it's only about 50-something, which is
so
really
Merry Christmas!
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I remember the days it was like MCX, DNX. That's when we first met each other. Those were the best days. Like
That was when you stalked him, Lucy. Come on, be honest.
No, I did not stalk him.
Mark,
He stalked me. He added me. Like,
No.
don't lie. Do not lie about this.
Listen, her mum and dad told me the story of when I added her on Facebook.
No, I actually do
and
remember
She
that.
ran in the living room going, Liam, no, added me.
Okay.
I do
There's
have
no
a question. I have a question. I think it's BP related. Liam, did you give her any penetrating builds?
Remember the show when she said, my base
It's
gets
already
smashed
been
every
brought
day."
up. It's already been brought up. We're not going back there again.
No. Hey, Raycon, I have a question for you. Or should I just call you Ryan now?
Hello.
Hey, Monster, you got a microphone
Hey,
working.
Monster.
Monster.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you, mate?
No less cool version of me.
I'm
Yeah.
right.
How's Cornwall, mate?
All right, mate. Yeah, good.
Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, this is
Handy, mate.
sick. It's like all the old people. No, that sounds bad. It's like everyone TFC.
The only old people here is Mark.
Mark has never been on camera.
I know.
Is it strange? In
Yeah,
my
I
Christmas
like-
jumper.
I
I
love
like
his
your
Christmas
tree.
jumper.
Do you like? I like your Chris. Oh, your Christmas jumper. Did you show him our Christmas
the red
tree?
nose is.
Oh, it's so nice to see everyone. It really is. I wish that we all still played BP and done originally still played it and still done the shows and stuff. It kind of sucks, but
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I'm still streaming stuff, but not this anymore. So
I didn't realise that this was the last show until Liam told me on Facebook about 10 minutes ago.
I didn't know. Chris, you know,
Can
We are the most
clarify?
prepared and most professional of shows.
No,
He was
Liam
like, "Hey,
is the
Steve,
worst
last
person.
TFC show. Do you want to join?"
And she was
Yeah,
meant to be on
okay.
Wednesday, just so you know.
Liam is the worst person. Like he can't even go out of bed in the morning.
No,
He is
I've
awful.
been very busy, to be fair.
To be fair, that's been your excuse for the last 2 years, mate. I think you'll do some time off.
Close off.
Slam dunk. Mic drop.
I gotta see.
Okay, I'm going now. It was lovely to see you all. Oh, I just want to quickly say before I go, thank you to everyone who supported TFC through how many ever years we've been doing it. Thanks to Mark who took the reins. Thanks to Ren. Thanks to everyone. It was been really, really good. Also,
Don't say my name. Cool.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks to everyone who's been a part of it.
Supporting the show.
GDR. What is this? I feel like I'm at the Grammys or something. Jesus Christ.
Well, you started it. You got to finish it.
I just want to thanks, Mum and Dad. No, right. Thanks.
So I'm happy for you, and I'm gonna let you finish.
Right, let me finish. Thank you, everyone who has a part of TFC, and hopefully not hopefully one day. Kicks Eye, Battle Pirates was amazing. It went downhill for me, but hopefully one day you'll fix it. Maybe, I don't know. If you do, let me know. Hook me up. I'll be there. But thank you so much, everyone. I'm out.
Bye.
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 Get to fuck you.
Do we also storm off one at a time so there's no one left?
Oh, so I can swear now.
Yeah, you can
I
swear.
couldn't do that before.
No, well, you did anyway, though, didn't you?
No,
Yes, you did.
great. I was always.
No,
on
he
the best
behaved
behavior.
really well on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the
Except
question,
for
Down go the
camera.
Watchers.
guys, the question I always wanted: how come whenever we got into previews, GDR always had R16 ships? What was that all about?
Oh, he's definitely hacking.
Yeah, pro hacker. That's the answer. Clearly.
So Ryan, after moving to LA and being there for so long, are you a crackhead already or not?
No.
Not yet, but he's working on it.
Oh
So
yeah.
he's a
totally.
crackhead in denial. That's what I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah.
out of this.
Yep.
Okay.
You got me. Yeah.
Yeah, Rennie's sat in his car. I'm not quite sure where he's
Is
sat.
he still sat in his car in the middle of the car park?
I'm not gonna drive anywhere. I'm just
There's
here.
some random shopper just walked past your back of your car.
Someone's gonna get. Someone's,
What's this guy doing?
someone's gonna get in the back of your car and think you're an Uber driver in a minute. You know.
Nah, my son works here at the mall, and I had to drop him because he got a shift. So I dropped him, and I wouldn't be able to make back home. That's why I asked Liam if it was going to start at 6. He said 5 my time, and I said okay, so I'll be a bit late, but that's the best I can do.
You did well. I appreciate you making the effort, Ren, regardless of what these dickheads say. You know, I appreciate it. All right.
Right, let's get it back to some sort of something to do with at least a little bit of BP. Come on, tell me, Brian, over the last 3 years that we've been doing this show, or 7 years, 8 years since the show's been going, what's been your favorite ship, attacker or defender? Go on.
Since the start of the game,
Go on. Not
I
research,
think-
not researchable tech. Anything other than researchable tech, because everyone will just say, "Oh yeah, Seawolves," but you know.
I mean, it's in the Foundry now, technically, but I think the ship that I had the most fun with was the Vindicators. They had that 40% general accuracy buff, and that plus the launchers that they were with, they started off with cannons, and then I put them to launchers, and then I put countermeasures on them because that huge accuracy buff, the generic accuracy stat just made it amazing. I know the Zelos is kind of that role more so now, but it was fun because I could go around with the fleet of 5 all stacked together and just wreck things. And they'd always do really well. And now they're dead in one shot to everything. But they are still in my dock.
Cool. Ren, what about you, mate?
Short answer, I'm really divided between Spectres and MCX, but I'm going to go with Spectres. I had 2 fleets and a half of them.
Yeah, it was good fun, wasn't it, when they came out? I mean, they transformed the game, didn't they? The downtime and everything was brilliant.
Exactly.
Fun.
They were slow, but they would stay down forever.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, they were slow, but yeah. I mean, it's nice when we got the extra special slot. Let's upgrade them a little bit, but they were still good because we had Preds, didn't we? You know, and then obviously the Kudas as well. But
yeah, the Kudas were fun as well, but the Spectres to me were in many ways like game change. You could always find a way of doing a raid with Spectres.
Crypt Keepers crew.
Yeah, when it was there, yeah. Monster, what about you, mate? You were always a smasher, weren't you? So,
I liked a lot of ships. Hellstrikes were.
you coined a lot of ships.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Hellstrikes were great.
I think the house strikes were a lot of fun, mate. They just walked in and just wiped stuff out. Like,
Yeah, they were good. Steve, what about you, mate?
Well, I actually got my Hell Strikes for free, and I can say that now because I don't play anymore. So, no, there was a really old bug that you could abuse with Kickstarter years ago. Basically, if you scrapped your weapons lab and your tech lab and then sent a ticket in saying I accidentally scrapped it, they give you gold back for it to, redo it back up to whatever level. But no one ever used it for that. You just slow built it and then coined some brand new hull. So I did that, and I think I got 3 Hell Strikes out of that, and they were great fun. I love those.
You sneaky
Dude,
man. You.
dirty.
DNX might take it, though. But DNX might take that spot purely because it was just such a cool looking ship.
Yeah, DNX was a really nice boat, I must admit. Come on, Liam, it's got to be submarines, isn't it?
Well, I would say Switchblade Apollos, but I don't want to put that out there too much. Honestly, though, like see back in the day when like Hammerhead A come out.
Yeah,
that was game changing because we were like used to Levi's and FF. It was the first ever raid, Revenge Raid 1. When that whole come out, it was game changing. It was brilliant, and only one person per sector at it. So
do you know what? I can remember the builds. It was assault missiles on the Hammerheads, and it was like a 60-day fleet build or something stupid like that. Mm-hmm. But it was the best hull for raids and everything. It was so multi-purpose. Like you could use it to prep out people's bases and everything, and it stayed on top for years.
Mm-hmm.
It just died off.
I mean, I would definitely pick like older hulls like that. I mean, I would probably say similar to Stu. DNX was amazing. MCX also was so versatile when it first was released. I had 3 fleets of them. I had 2 different types of siege missile fleets, and I had an assault missile prep fleet. So probably MCX, I would say.
Yeah, I was going to say MCX for me definitely, but of the early ships that wasn't Forsaken Researchable was the original Dreadnought. When I got that, that thing was.
Oh, was that the one we all put siege cannons on or something?
Siege cannons, and I put rippers on mine, and it washed a lot off. That was the funniest thing ever. It was just like strong as an ox, and it would just like drive through people's bases, and it was good ship.
The raid after that was Base Invaders 1. Base Invaders 2 was the Scorpion A, which in comparison to the original Dreadnought was a big disappointment. But I remember I didn't win the original Dreadnought the first time around, but I won the Scorpion. And I remember filling it up with siege cannons and actually blitzing bases with it. Like back then you could do stupid things with holes. You could do different things with holes. Like there was no limitation,
Yeah, and then after that for me, actually, I think probably the Rainer's Rage and the Rainer's set. That was a good set of ships for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Until they brought that stupid cannon out.
Remember the fun we had with that, Mark?
I'm blaming GDR for that one.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
Millennium Gun.
Do you remember we sat, Ryan? Do you remember we sat that Friday afternoon? You like stayed behind work and was like, I can't get this thing. Why is this thing overloading so much? It's just annihilating everything. You go into a shroud and all of a sudden it was just like unstoppable. And I remember that. That was crazy. With that hangout going for ages.
Oh, right. Other thing about favorite ship, Monoliths, because I got them buffed. Get wrecked nerds, etc.
Oh yeah.
I remember that. That was a good day.
Yeah, it was good. I must admit. I still think though. Yeah, I think in general, MCX is probably the most versatile ships because everyone was fitting with launchers, and then it was missiles, and then it was even morts and that sort of stuff. It was a pretty versatile hull. It was good for a prep ship, when we could use to prep properly. And you used to have your teams and people just prepping only and doing nothing but prepping while somebody else did the base hit. And then you could take people's guards out as well, and then taking people outside their base as well. That used to be good fun. So.
Yeah, I remember I had a mean fleet of battleships with assault missiles. I think max range at the time, back in the day, was 93 or something like that. I don't remember, like with all the buffs. And they did just not enough that, and then somebody else would come in with the big mortar heaters or cannon, whatever, and just blitz the base.
Right, what about raid sets then? Go on, give us your favorite raid series. Do you remember the one that was 1 to 50? Remember that raid series you had to do? I mean, basically raid was good because it was co-op, but I like the one where you had to go out and find 50 different targets, and everyone was like screaming on comms, going, "Has anybody seen such a number?" You're running around like headless chickens all over the place trying to get certain things. Like that was notice.
Just pure bingo. I think that would do well now with the locator, hopefully, but the locator itself would be, well, they just have like 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, and so on and so forth. I think they could actually make the hardest part of that raid a lot easier.
Well, GDR, your time in BP, you worked on tons of holes. What was your personal favorite?
That's like picking your favorite kid, man. That's messed up. Well, so I have a soft spot for the Rhino just because it was the first one I ever made for BP.
The Rhino?
Yeah.
I had the best build time ever.
Yeah, Rhino.
Yeah, it was. That was a good build time. That was.
I think a lot of people forget that hole. Actually, that's the remote targeting missile hole, right?
Yeah.
15 weapon slots.
Yeah.
Right.
The first
15.
ever one as well. The first ever remote target missile.
No, the Mastodon
The
came before
Mastodon
that.
came
That's it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but that's such a shitty
Don't
build time.
blame him, guys. He's always busy.
Mm,
He can't
Oh.
help it.
I was busy when that came out.
Yeah.
And I think like my favorite one to play was the Skyfire.
Oh,
was
yeah.
real big.
I was
love
hoping
that.
you were going to say the Skyfire was your favorite because definitely from the holes I know you designed, it's my favorite.
That's cool. Yeah.
No, I love
I was just a huge UAV fan, and I never felt like we did him justice per se, at least in PvE. So I was like, I was gonna make a UAV hole that like I would enjoy using. Right? I know that's what I did. Plus, I had the healing thing.
MLG like 6 chaining to where you hit the first thing and it just kills everything on that square of land. on
Well,
the next
yeah.
platform. That's so cool.
Isn't
Oh,
that
it
what you
was. It
like?
was really cool.
I mean, that's what you fantasize about, right? It's just like chain destructing everything on the map. And so I was just like, why don't we just play into that and make you feel awesome, which I think is sort of the point. But, you know.
Suck at G100S. Sorry.
No, you made it harder, right? Because then after the Skyfires that everybody loved them, then you got the Manticores. And I don't know a single person who likes playing with the Manticores.
No.
I don't know what they
Yeah.
are. What are the
I think the
Manticores?
scatter ones are all right. I can't do the missiles. It's too micro for my connection.
The Manticores were a bit like a Rhino, but without retargeting. So that sort of thing. But you could use it as either two. You could build it missile, or you could build it with corrosive scatter guns as well, which is
That's really confusing.
which is the avenue I took. So
It's like a duck. It's like a duck. It swims, it walks, it flies. It does none of them well.
yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
That helps me out very well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if she weighs the same as a duck, then she's made of wood.
I have no idea what he just said, but yeah, I agree.
He wants some
Monty
hardwood,
Python
that's what
and
I
the Holy
understood. I
Grail?
don't know.
Nobody?
Oh, no. I've not seen that since 1987.
I suppose that's fair.
Jesus, how old are you?
I'm actually only born in 1989, but yeah.
Now
Objection.
I feel old because I was born older than that.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm not saying nothing.
Do I have to get on somebody's lawn? Is that what has to happen now?
I have no idea.
Brian, you're the youngest in the squad, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We're
I
a
think if
squad.
we don't count,
We're-
we're
we're-
counting Lucy, I guess, right?
Are we?
Let's not go there. No,
Child still.
no, Stu, we're not a squad. See, when we end the live shows, we're forming our own dance troupe. So we're going to be called a troupe now. That's TFC moving forward.
Oh, we're gonna do Battle Pirates the musical,
I'm down as long as I get a paycheck.
directed by Michael Bay.
But unfortunately, I do set the ticket price. So
Ooh,
Yeah.
no.
Let's not go there.
yeah. Well, let me ask you something a little bit more fun than your favorite hole. What was your most ridiculous hole? That's a good one.
Oh, what's those ones with the shoes?
Please
They look
define
like a shoe.
ridiculous.
Is Nobby still in there? Let's see if Nobby's still in the
The
sidebar.
original Juggernaut.
Oh, I thought it was good. Oh, I enjoyed that one.
I didn't like that.
I
Not.
like that.
Well, we are about least favourite.
Are we talking good or bad?
Most ridiculous, and that can be like funny, stupid, or overpowered, or broke the game, whatever.
Well, that's got to be the rages, isn't it? I mean, they were excellent for 2 weeks. I mean, they were like the fleet to go and build, and then all of a sudden,
and then everyone got the counter in that bounty.
Yeah. See what drove me mad about that, right? Is that would have been fine if the Millennium Gun stayed priced as it was. The fact is, at the end of the raid, they made it worth 1 point, and like the whole game collected it.
The Axiom chain gun became worth 1 bounty point. You said Millennium Gun, and you tilted me all the way over in California.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, Millennium Gun was, in BP history, was the thing that was sold to people after they completely bulked the release of the Cannoneer. Ooh.
No,
GD Rakin wants to get booted off this call, you guys.
I was going to say, I don't know if Ryan can answer my question. I mean, he's not supposed to talk about that, I guess, but I'll ask anyways. Why did you guys never finish the 7 scene series of Conquerors, man? Because honestly, looking back now, we had the Liberator series there, the factions, and they didn't have a good shelf life. We have the whole tier 7 now, didn't have a good shelf life. Now it's amazing how many people are still using the Sloth, the Gluttony, and what's the other one? The Pride is not so much. The Prides are gone, but the Gluttony and the Sloths are used to this day.
Yeah, Gluttony
and
is
the
one of the
Rages,
best. Yeah.
I mean, the Rages had a bit of an extra life recently with retrofit and armors, but that was a fun series to play with. I mean, I'm so sad we didn't see the rest of them.
Yeah, I can't. Like you said, I don't think I can reasonably speak to that in any way. But I will say that, during those particular ships, I think we had a lot of creative fun. I think is what translates, right? Because when we do like the Gluttony, for example, I think that was one of the first times that we managed to get some form of healing into the game.
I think so.
And so I think that was just sort of like, it was an easy inspiration point. Like, hey, here's a theme, here's a name, here's something that you can attach yourself to. And so it's like, oh, like Pride, like it wants to be by itself.
Yeah.
Like that. I think that was sort of the spirit of it.
And by the way, just so you know, like this weekend there's a bounty event going on, and I'm using my Gluttonies like crazy to do open water fleet versus fleet, and I'm having a blast with that.
Gluttony is still one of the best fleets out there. I really enjoyed. I had 2 sets of those when I was playing, and they were great fun. Especially the early ones when we were starting using the missiles.
Yeah, Raken, did you ever? I don't know if you can say that, but did you actually get to a point where you had the missing ships designed, but they were just not ever released?
Yeah. Again, I don't feel super comfortable talking about it, but like obviously, I mean, we had thoughts, like that would be probably as far as I could say. But yeah.
Layman's Ren, stop asking.
Oh, that's bad.
Is that Ren?
I think that's Ren at the moment there.
Someone
he started his car.
I think,
and he was never seen again.
Sounds like that drone that was down at Gatwick recently.
Yeah, so a couple of people are just saying in the sidebar chat there. So Monarch is one thing there. Avenger, do you remember that thing?
I don't.
We could really work out how to use it. The Avenger.
Yeah.
So it was the flagship that basically everything was supposed to go the same speed as it. The problem is everything slowed down. It was just like,
I don't remember that.
What the hell's going on? It was a crazy ship. That thing was, yeah. Everybody thought it was going to be like, the next best thing.
Oh, no, wait, I think I do remember that. That was supposed to have like a little circle around it, and it's supposed to give like little buffs or something.
Yeah, it was a dog. It was a dog.
It was like a poor man's. Fuck, what was the ship called? The one that used to give you defense bonuses if you stayed in its circle.
Aegis.
The Aegis, yeah, the Aegis was quite a good ship.
It was like a poor man's version of that, but it had like no use.
However, there is nothing worse than the Man of War.
Hang on a minute. Didn't you coin that, Mark? Didn't you have that build?
The Man of War that I coined in 24 hours, I went out there and then I just scrapped it the next 24 hours. What a dog.
GDR just said Fusion Cruiser on release was insane with the Antipod, and I'd have to say the Antipod was insane anyway. It didn't
Yeah,
matter where you pull
yeah.
it; it was absolutely insane.
But the
You're right.
Fusion
I
Cruiser
don't
had
think
that
we've
times
seen-
3 stack, and you could get it to times 9, which
Yeah.
meant like I just had one Fusion Cruiser, and it could go down and take out one of those giant Reaver motherships just out of its range in like 4 or 5 seconds. The boss mob of a high level raid target just done. It with one ship, it was insane.
It's good stuff.
We're actually BP's due a launcher ship, isn't it? Is it not?
Probably.
I had no idea what you just said.
Probably like one come out last week. You know what I
What?
mean?
Who? What?
I'm late to the show as usual. Remember that show when I come on and I was like, "All right, guys, how's Bounty going?" And you were like, "Yeah, it's next week, Liam."
That was super funny.
Yeah,
Cool.
not for me, it wasn't.
It was backtrack. It was good. Hey, I'll tell you what. Right. So what was your favorite event? Favorite event for me has got to be the gunboat raid. The event that we had. That was the funniest thing I've done.
Oh, the April Fool's one, yeah.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
I don't remember much of them.
I don't know who came up with that, but that was a really good fun. The most stupid gunboat. Was that your idea, GD?
GDR.
He's on that side of the screen.
Yeah, I mean, it was team idea, but like I don't know. I remember going and being like, what if we just made a gunboat that had like every effect in the game on it?
And 20 gun slots.
yeah. Just like the most stupid gunboat you could think of. And let's just do it. And everyone, like the team rallied behind the idea and put it together and worked together and got it out there. And that was awesome. And I think we were super excited about it.
Man, you just blew my ears off. Yeah, it was cool. I mean I've never. The event started. I looked at the blueprint. I went, "Oh yeah, great. Hang on a minute. It's got 20 weapon slots. How can a gunboat have 20 weapon slots?" I went, "Oh, this is going to be very brilliant." So yeah, that was a crazy event.
I remember a meta evolved for that. It was really weird. You had to do like scatters and get your cold procs to lower their resists. It was a strange time.
Yeah, that was fun because we threw like almost every major weapon in there, and we're just like, go.
It was
And to
nuts.
come up with a meta for that within a short amount of time, I mean, good job, community.
Yeah, it was
no,
really
it was cool.
fun.
It was really cool.
So cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
I
One
don't
of my
remember the
favorite-
name of this event, but it was one of the early Reaver ones. It had CB and A sets, and I just remember taking my hammerheads, I think that's how long ago this was, and just grinding like a madman. And I got 100 and something million points. And I didn't have a foothold into the game at that point in time. And I was able to get the Missile Cruiser X. And I don't think this was the first time it was released. But the MCX, whatever weapon that came with it, all its bits, and like some build tokens or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even sure if tokens were in the game at that point, but I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Just
I don't
from
think there were
C-sets.
tokens.
Just straight grinding. And I was at it for like 5 hours a day, like 8 hours a day on the weekends. And I still have MCXs in too. I think that might be my second or first favorite ship because they were so good for so long. I remember retrofitting them every time I could, putting all sorts of new armor on it so it could deal with the, at the time, new damage type of radioactive, which is how long ago that was. It was the feeling of, I earned this the hard way, but this is mine, and this is amazing, and I earned this not through anyone else's seeing anything else or getting prepped. It's just hard work and dedication. This is my ship. Let's go wreck stuff. And stuff was wrecked for years. It was great.
Now, can I? One thing that nobody mentioned, and I think it deserves a mention. It's two ships that I remember lots of people built them, and lots of people had a lot of fun with them. One of them was the Stingray. I remember lots of people had fun with the Stingrays, and the other one is Ballistic Choose, the Crusaders. Did you guys have fun? 'Cause
Yeah.
those were
Nah,
fun fleets
nah.
to have.
The
Nah,
Crusader was also kind of broken.
exactly what he said.
Like
In what sense?
Go away.
there was a giant post about how it put out damage output 4 times what they were expecting, just with Crusader and Arbalest. But yeah, that fast weaving in and out ballistic type of fighting. I think a lot of people like the Apollo too, for similar reasons. You dart in, you dart out, you move faster. The repair time on the Apollos is really low as well. By the end of it, you could just put on like the weakest version of armor and still get enough resist. So your repair time was under 2 hours a ship. Take note.
Oh, well under.
Well under.
One of my favourite fleet versus fleet ships was Indictor. I mean, the amount of fights, amount of fleet fights I had with that fleet was unreal.
They were nasty, weren't they, when they first came out?
They were.
Unreal, mate.
Yeah, interdictors were awful.
You used to go and tag a base and there'd just be fleets and fleets of them just to
Or they'd bluff you. You go in there with a set of subs, and all of a sudden, like they'd have like 4 inters and then some really rubbish so, I don't know, an FF at the front end, and all of a sudden there's 4 inters in there. You're like, holy cow, I'm dead.
Yeah, that was great to grab sub guys. You're right. I mean, put a DNX, put something as flagship, and behind them 4 interdictors.
Yeah, and then charge ahead with a speed crew on it, and you're like, oh no.
And I remember I did something to my interdictor. That was like the 3rd or 4th version of them, where I replaced one weapon with one rocket kicks I released that was really overpowered. And then my interdictors would just charge at people, and they would be expecting like torpedoes and whatnot. And the torpedoes were there, but then I got close enough and these rockets would fire and just melt people down.
Was it a Piranha rocket?
No, it was a rocket, not a death charge. It was like Inferno rocket, something like that.
The cryonic... Oh, what's it called?
No. I'm talking an explosive
Inferno rocket,
I
I think, was it.
Well, the Inferno was early, yeah.
It's that or the Dragon Strike. Because
the Hell Strikes with Piranha depth charges were awesome.
Yeah.
If you ran them into someone's base and sat them on top of someone's guard, and then just that was the end of their guard.
And 0 building damage, right? 0.
Yeah, exactly. So you could just like wipe out someone's guard and then just bring in your baser and be like, "Well, this is easy."
Do you have a minute to hear the good word of the Borba Score Saber?
No.
The map-wide stun.
No.
Yeah, no, the stun effect of that thing was crazy.
That was awesome.
And everyone was like, what is this? This is broken. And Kix is like, no.
The Grimshine's Wrath.
We want map-wide stuns. Everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Grimshine's.
Grimshine's Wrath.
Oh, that is spicy.
That was.
I remember running the Grimshine.
UAVs.
Yeah, with
everywhere.
UAVs, exactly. Grimshine Zerker leading 4 Atlas carriers, like loaded with UAVs. I remember
No. The Wrath version, because it still gave you the salvo, but if you were close enough, it stunned you as well. If I'm not mistaken. I think it did, didn't it? It gave you the salvo?
I thought that was the Grimshine Zerker. I might be wrong, because that's the one I built and I used.
Zerker did give a salvo boost, but I'm pretty sure the Grimshine's Wrath also gave a salvo boost, but if you got too close to it, it stunned you as well.
You're probably right. But I remember
I have a special place in my heart for anything that attempts to make the opponent lag through putting so many particles on the screen at once, and Grimshine and Drat Carrier will do that for you.
Well, just imagine,
if you want to do that, the Searing Barrage Mortar on
the Searing Barrage
that
on
too.
TXs,
that would make me lag like no.
I was going to say, imagine the CS tickets. Get good scrub, upgrade your PC.
Well, the thing is, considering that FUD cannons make BP lag,
I mean that too.
It's I think there's been some fantastic holes. I mean, the Berserker, when Grimshine Berserker and then the Berserkers, this is before, the UAV scenario, when everyone was piling mortars on. I mean, that was just mad time.
So I remember my brother, Nobby, built Grimshine Berserkers and that sort of stuff. And then there was another one as well, another Reaver ship, I can't remember what it was, and he built it and he went, yeah, I built it, I just can't afford to fix it now.
That was the Hellhound.
That was it.
32 hours.
Yeah. That was ridiculous. Yeah.
He built them and coined them, and then he went, I actually can't afford to use them. It was funny as anything.
I said that about every ship.
Lose the fleet.
Yeah, the fix time of those was just like the most nuts things ever, but they were quite fun to use.
The build time was pretty bad as well, as far as I can remember. Like because you could use so many different weapons. I think I used mortars on mine. Can't remember what ones, but it was some sort of mortars, and I used to run them in one by one to take out a base or something like that. And then at the end of it, you'd end up with like maybe half health on one of them left, and you'd be like 2-day repair and just be like, fuck this game.
Negotiator mortars were the ones we used to use on Hellhounds.
Oh, the old neg morts,
Oh my god, yeah. Because they had a low arc or something, right?
The arc was really good. You'd mix the arcs up so they knock out all the counters first and then get some big ones afterwards, But the raid that those Grimshines came in, that was a good raid series. I like those targets. They were good fun.
Was that the Borbus? Because I like that cycle a lot.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah, that was really good fun.
The Borbus cycle, I think, was my second favorite of all time. The first was the one you mentioned, TSM, like the 1-50.
The 1-50, the crazy
that
one.
was the best. But the Borbus was pretty good because I remember there was some sort of an elite target, and we would do that in the turrets, like a campaign turrets, and me plus 3 players, the 4 of us, one of us had like Crusaders to take the Hellhounds up front, and the next person would come in with, I think, was subs or UAVs. And all I know in the end, like we could, like with 4 different fleets, take down the big target that had a bit of everything in it. And that was before this boring class segregation stuff. But, you would do some FVF first, and then you have to take down some turrets and buildings and gates, and then you go take those river motherships, and then more turrets, and then more FVF and that's to take down 1 target, but was worth a lot of points and was fun doing that together. 2 players at a time. The other, and I remember we had 2 campaign turrets up at the same time, and 2 would be in one, 2 in other, then we'd switch, right, and prepare things, and that was great teamwork. That to me was the best co-op in this game ever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was going to say mega ships, but I won't, because
They were so cool when we first saw them, though. They were like some elite boss target of a Drac raid somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't remember even what raid it was because I just saw this giant ship with all these weapons. And, the Apollo raid, yeah. Thanks, GDR. It's like, I want this. This is amazing. This is so cool. And then we got it. And
it had the potential, but I don't think it. I don't know. I think things have moved on from then.
I think the people that have built it and are using it are enjoying it very much. It's not for everyone, but it's got its hardcore fans.
The only fun thing, Brian, of having a mega hull is not having the mega hull. It's actually engaging in a battle with like 3-4 opponents on each side, and having this, battle fest of 7-6 players, like fighting each other, and it just lasts 5-6 minutes. That's the fun part. The mega hull in itself, the person driving the mega hull to attack other mega hulls who cannot bring a fleet in is having the least fun of all, because you just sit there and watch because your mega hull doesn't move. Right?
I always wanted to be able to bring my mega ship in and then bring my own defending fleet in on top of that. Never
exactly.
Because then you couldn't, if none of your colleagues is on, then you couldn't really go and attack a good alliance because you just get taken out. So it wasn't,
But the other players bringing the fleets, that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
So
if I can, after all these years, even after the year of retirement, say fuck mega ships.
Yeah,
I've not changed my view on that.
So if I can transition from disappointment into the other big piece of BP news, the Wrong Thinker post, which I'll try to be quick on. Wrong Thinker, who's been with the team since July, wrote a long post about 2 things, basically. He calls them obfuscation and volatility. The post is on the forums. You've probably all read it or...
No, nobody here read it.
Well, fine. Obfuscation is basically, there's a lot of unknown parts from the player's point of view, and to solve that, they're going to be giving up battle reports, giving you information, what damage you avoided, what damage was negated by your defensive stats, and what damage you actually took, sorted by type, customized to your individual combat encounter. We don't know what the final version of this is going to look like. We don't know how detailed the information is, or just anything about it, really. But I have a couple of concerns about it. One of them is more with the game itself, but I think both of these are able to be worked around in some sense. The first thing is, as a general rule, when you're doing a scientific experiment, you want to keep everything the same, except for one variable. And in this case, that's going to be the gear on your ships. You change out a CL3 to a layered armor. What's that going to do? You change out one of the old armors to the limited armor in the FM. What's that going to do? And that's what you change. The problem is, it's not that way. Kickside changes damage, and they've admitted as such when they've mentioned multiple difficulty reductions in the past raid on day 1. So it's really hard to get a clear idea of where you're going if the damage numbers are being changed all the time. And you can sort of get around that if you put out, here's the total amount of damage that was tried to deal to you by the target. So if they up the damage by 1.5 times, you'll see that if you drive the same route, which is the other thing. You have to drive the same route, but people hopefully will try to do that. So it's cool. I'm going to enjoy it because I like numbers and tweaking and that sort of thing. But I don't think this is going to be the answer that people want. I think a lot of people are going to be confused. They're not going to pay attention to it, and it's not going to work. And that's kind of unfortunate because there's good intentions in there, and there's a way to solve the problem. But unless the raid damage doesn't change, and I don't think that's ever going to be the case personally, and even if it's at the end of a raid cycle that this debuts, it doesn't matter because there's no more raids for it. Like, what are we going to do? And the map targets are different than the raid targets, so on and so forth. Although it doesn't say it's just for the raid, it's just most useful in the raid. So they might be tweaking a little.
See, to me, that's just nuts, mate, because all I want to do was get on, smash a few bases, and do a few chores. I didn't care about figures and numbers and what's this and what's that, like.
And I think a lot of people are going to say exactly what you just said. They're just going to click away from it and just never notice it. And it's a shame because there's value in it, but it's a lot of effort by the player to get that reward out of it. And I'll do it because I'm nuts, but most people just aren't going to. And I feel bad because I like the idea. The second,
I just think for that, Brian, I don't think the thing that frustrates me, and you sort of touched on it there, is when you go into a raid series and that sort of stuff, and you even with the fact that some of us get a chance to go in some previews, and we had actually streamed some previews previously, that the damage multiplier mechanic changes through the first 24 hours of the game consistently, and then probably for another 12 hours into the Saturday as well, sort of stuff, And then if you are looking at your your builds and then what's good and what's not good and that sort of stuff, and you make some sort of adjustment based on the tokens you could get at the time, and that's fantastic. But then you reset it, for escalation for the next month and that sort of stuff. But actually, they change it as a complete mechanic. It's like triple times the amount of damage, and it's one of the things that turned me off the game very, very quickly. And for the last 3 raid sets, probably from about August specifically, I really was unhappy the way it was delivered. That we would go and do a preview because we were or I'd do the first hour as Price used to do, and then all of a sudden you reflect back to that first hour of stream, and then actually the next day there was no correlation. It was like you were playing a different event. It was really, really quite quite frustrating is probably the simplest way of putting it. That you'd structure and giving some rough ideas for people and maybe some tactics and that sort of stuff, but actually, it was only valid for literally from the second I logged off. Then it just seemed to change. So, it's one of the things that sort of like I thought, well, I'm doing a disservice rather than a service because people are trying to follow those ideas and follow those paths. The paything's fine, but the concept changed so quickly. So it was just quite frustrating. Anyway,
see, that's one thing I don't get about Kinks is that if they can't get a raid cycle right in 4 weeks, then why do it each 4 weeks? Like, why do we have to start a raid and then they change it, and then the either damage goes up or down or up or down? Why can't they just get it right? And if it takes 8 weeks to get it right, then it does. Like, but why they've constantly got to push for each 4 weeks, like, and then change it mid-raid. I just don't get that at all.
Well, their concept now is to release the raid like easier, and then they release you tech, and then as each month passes, they release you additional tech that you have to then add to the ships. And then by the following raid that is harder, and your fleet should be better. And so you can't just build a fleet at the beginning of the cycle and still reuse it throughout the whole cycle. Like by the end of the cycle, you've pretty much refitted it through every raid in that cycle. That's there, and now it's all limited stuff as well. It's like limited armors or limited specials or limited weapons,
and it's on 2 fleets.
Which I get that as well, but like we all know, if you do the raid on the first day, well, we used to do the raid on the first day, because by day 2 the damage had like gone up.
Yeah, and that's
like, why.
Yeah, I mean, the most recent thing that frustrated me is when they had the Halloween event that was supposed to be, and conceptually it was quite good, but the prizes that came from that, it was supposed to be a fun event for those who wanted to do it, and actually it turned out that the very next raid, if you hadn't had those items in there, you were absolutely lost, and I found that quite distasteful. I mentioned it at the time, that sort of stuff, but unfortunately, it is what it is, and they took it down as that to be the norm, and then they geared the targets to you having that tech, and there was no indication of that. There was no pre-warning in it, and I was. Yeah, it's one of the things that actually sort of put the nail in the coffin for me towards the game and towards Kickstarter. I couldn't support it, unfortunately, any further, and I did mention it at the time. So I pulled the pin personally. Just wasn't as to me that's really bad marketing. So I wasn't impressed with that. But in general, I've had fun. I mean, look, we're an hour and 10 minutes in, but yeah, I mean, it's been a good 8 years, good fun, that sort of stuff, and I don't regret any of it. I've really enjoyed myself. I've met some amazing people. Had some really good times, got onto streaming and stuff. It's been good fun. Yeah, Ren, we've had some right laughs, mate. So, and Robin as well. It's a shame she's not here tonight, because it would be good to see Robin on as well. But but it's been interesting. We've had people come and people go and that sort of stuff. Through the shows and we've lost other shows as well. Hefe's still going with his. He's in Sci-Fi Chat there, and good luck to him. But I know even he's finding it hard at the moment. I just watched his show from midweek, and he's even saying that the last 3 weeks it's been really difficult to remain positive. So hard times, I think.
Another perfect transition. Oh, sorry. I've got a second part of the post, but that's going to take a while. If you wanted to say something, go right ahead.
No, I was just continuing on from what Mark was saying there. I mean, for me, like I've been in this game for a similar period of time to you, and yeah, I mean, it's been a journey. It's been a journey, and I think along the way, you meet some fantastic people, and you change as a person along the way as well, and it's a great
You're
community.
welcome.
BP is a great community. It is. There's a lot of fantastic people in the community, with obviously with the exception of Stu.
But, come on, I'm a delight.
But yeah, I mean, for me, like, obviously I started doing shows on BV for a few years before TFC started, and then that led on to the birth of TFC, and it's been a great journey. I mean, TFC has been fantastic. I've loved doing the show, and I've loved being involved in it, and it's just been great. It's a shame that it's going to come to an end, but I think I'll probably occasionally log into BP. Like I'm not saying I'm gonna like just completely blank out the game, but I'm certainly not gonna be supporting it to an extent where I spend my free time making shows or giving feedback and trying to like be a positive influence in the community, because it's just not worth it.
Yeah,
I must admit. Go, Brian. Go on.
For me, TFC. I remember being on the first TFC open mic. Base parts were just introduced, which is how long ago that was. And I've tried to come in and just bring in an analysis, an analytical tone, and just try to figure out how everything works from a design perspective. And that's part of the fun for me. And I actually remember I went into a giant rant against what at the time was supposed to be Hydraulic Resistors 2 and Gale 4, funnily enough.
Yeah.
And now it's out now, about how it was lazy design and putting all this tech in so quickly would leave players behind. And I just went off for a good couple of minutes. And apparently everyone liked it, probably because I yelled at people. And they were sharing the same sentiments of general negativity, which is sad because not everything, it's not all negative. It's not all positive. There's some of each, and more recently it is more negative, but I was just some scrub with different headphones who liked math and had his calculator at the ready and just talked about the math and stuff for the game. And through just a meritocracy, I was able to get on to the TFC, and I started doing shows with you guys, weekly, and I was on the open mic and all that sort of stuff. Getting into the community again through skill and something that I earned and that I like to do, the analysis and the math, my own way, something that I enjoyed, and to be able to help contribute, I think was really great. And it's sad that TFC is coming to an end or a hiatus, if not an outright end. But I haven't seen another group anywhere that supports a game that's, let's say, in the state that Battle Pirates is in so well. When the game has a lot of negative choices around it and it's dying, people are quick to decry it dead. Or they're quick to decry it dead because they're bored of it and they're idiots or whatever. And this group has tried so much to help so many people because, real talk, the average player is incredibly confused by so many things that are going on in this game. They don't get the right numbers. They don't get the right builds. They don't have a lot of the tech. There's over 200 ship specials. There's just so much complexity inherently built in that a new player or a returning player is very likely to get turned off. They need a guide, and TFC has tried to be that guide for everyone as best we can. We're not perfect. We can't help everyone with every question, but I defy you. If you're watching this, I defy you to go and find out a more helpful group to the players, trying to inform them, not just be a shit show, not just be where people yell at each other and call their names and wave their e-pins around and try to say how they're so much better than everyone. Great. If you're fantastic, fine. Go somewhere else. Go make your own group with blackjack and hookers. Forget the blackjack. Just this group has been so helpful to the players, and I am glad to have been a part of it. Really, it was fun for me to kind of coast along kind of the top end of a PvE game, free to play, without coining. I'm not the best free player, certainly. I'm no good at PvP, which is why talking about bounty for 20 minutes was hilarious, and I think a lot of people saw that. But just to be able to help and to be able to do well through intelligence is why I play this game. And especially with the recent VXP weekend, where you didn't even get VXP proper for just dying, where that was a quarter of what it was. Even if they give us 2 weekends, it's not enough. We get this weird limited armor in FM that's a little different, but it's worse than our current, but they're giving us a slightly better one in the other raid. It's not about skill so much anymore, especially the VXP. It's about how much you spend. And while pay to win, I can see that. They have to make money. I still think that they're trying to get blood from a stone. I don't understand why this game is afloat when they make decisions like this. When these people have been in long enough to have done the appropriate research to make engaging content, and they just haven't. When they've borked the release of so many things since the end of the last raid, I just don't understand it. I'm going to keep going for as long as I can, but without the community and a place to be, because I've got a job now, I can't spend as much time devoted to this, and eventually that's going to be the end of it. I won't be able to keep up, or they'll release things that just need more hours in a day than I have. And someday that's going to be the end of it, or they're going to implode. But it was good to be a part of something and to leave a positive impact on something while I could, even though I yelled at a bunch of decisions like
You were
that thing in the monolith, and etc. Glad to be of service.
Brian, you have always been a true asset to the show, and I appreciate your words there. Very, very kind. Yeah. I mean, TFC began with the idea of helping the community, for the players. it's been a long journey, and I think that whole emphasis of being for the players and helping the community is why we kept going for as long as we did. Because to be quite honest, I think a lot of us here and some of the admins that kept going, we felt kind of fed up with the game a long time ago. But it was the shows, it was like that group atmosphere of the admins and the community and trying to do a service. It just kept people pushing on, I think, probably longer than maybe many of us wanted to. I don't know how you feel about that, Mark. But
it is what it is.
So, exactly what you said at the end. Sorry, Mark, to cut you off there.
Go on, mate.
About how sometimes we pushed on further than we wanted to, just to stay around and try and help out. I actually wanted to quit for an entire year before I quit. And I stuck around just so I could, carry on doing the shows with you guys and, trying out different bits and pieces in the game. And I mean, I completely stopped doing PvP for the entire year. I'd stopped, pretty much playing the game. I was just logging on to do my chores. That was it. So, yeah, I mean, Liam's completely right. Most of us did stay on just to help out the rest of the game.
Me mostly.
I had lost fun in the game years ago. So.
Yeah, it's
true.
true.
Don't want to come on and chat? I'm by myself. And I think Robin felt that pain when I had to go off for a few weeks earlier in the year and that sort of stuff. Because I went overseas for a while with my work. And I think she then realized just how painful it is when you're trying to understand the forums, understand the page, understand the changes, also play the game, also do the events, try and then make sense of it all, and then try and deliver, 2 shows a week as well as moderate, Facebook as well. So it takes quite a bit, but
it becomes a full-time job, and and despite popular belief, we're not funded or promoted by Kickstarter in any way. So it was people sacrificing their free time, like yourself, Mark, and like Robin, and and I personally, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that ever worked on the show. I mean, you guys, you always did fantastic jobs, and you were great assets to the team, all of you, every single one of you. And especially, the community, the people that come out and watch the shows, the people that interact on the pages, the people that, come out every Saturday night and every, Wednesday or Thursday, Tuesday night, whenever we do the show, people always gave us a lot of good support. And I think overall, occasionally you would get a bit of negativity, but overall, we had some fantastic support over the years.
Yeah. Hey, and don't get wrong. Just think about it. I've learned how to use OBS. I've learned how to stream. I've learned quite a bit. So it's not been too bad. Make some videos, that sort of stuff. It's been quite fun. And supporting other people was good because when you have something that someone's struggling and doing something or other, and all of a sudden a bit of advice or a different approach to it, and then all of a sudden they crack it. That's a nice thing to do. Pay it forward. So I like that sort of stuff. I think that's half the battle, and that's the community spirit piece, and that's why so many people did hook on to the TFC and help each other out. It's not just okay, we focus on friendly content and that sort of stuff, but actually, I always liked it when the players answer their own questions, amongst themselves. That's the best bit for me, to be honest. But yeah. But onwards and upwards. I see Ren's back. Is he actually out of his car? I think he is now. I saw him inside a building just now.
Yeah, I'm in the booze
He's
store.
live in the mall.
He's in the mall now.
No, I'm buying some booze here.
Oh, you're buying booze.
Good. Perfect.
Here,
Perfect.
let me show you. Okay, where is it? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can now, yeah. What are you going for, mate?
Bunch of stuff.
Scotch. Get the Scotch.
It's got to be rum, isn't it?
Yeah, I got a bottle of Glenlivet, and it's a founder's edition of Glenlivet. I think I'm going to like that.
Oh, right.
And some
Scotch.
wine as well for a party we have tomorrow.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds good.
Sounds like you're really into the game.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was a great 3 years. I'd like to thank Liam for getting me in the group early on, and everyone for being a part of it. It was great.
Yeah, it's been fun. And I have to say, it's been nice, especially in the early days when GDR was around and stuff. We had some right good laughs. We've had some right good banter. I've enjoyed it.
GDR, you were always a true TFC advocate. In fact, when I first started speaking to GDR, I was working on BV. and it was a conversation. And I was talking to GDR about creating TFC, and yeah, you were kind of there from day one, GDR, weren't you? Well, not there, but you were talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think, at least for me personally, like supporting the community and having diverse points of view and to be able to, add value to the community, like that's always a plus. I don't care whether, you're on the business side or, the company side or the player side. I think it's just healthy, right? So happy to be part of this and it's been an awesome show. So
yeah, I've enjoyed it. I must admit, it's but like I said, it doesn't stop. I'm still doing some other interests and that sort of stuff. I'm still going to do some streaming. I literally just got some internet up and running over the last few days because I moved house and and all the good things, moved jobs and that sort of stuff. So I'm back online now. So I'm going to have a look at some other titles that intrigue me. I'll do different games, I think.
Yeah, I think, and same for me. I mean, I think there'll be occasional videos popping up on TFC. I think TFC will probably push on, but maybe not in videos for BP, maybe videos for elsewhere. We did discuss doing like a monthly blog, didn't we? Didn't we, Mark? Maybe like a monthly show where we just talk about stuff, other games, maybe. I don't know.
We talk about Ren's videos. He still does them.
Ren's home movies.
He's doing good. He's doing good.
I don't think we want to talk about that.
What, Ren's home movies?
Yeah, we'll lead into that.
We'll talk about
about my Battle Pirates videos or my home movies. Two different things. Let's not talk about the second.
Is this going to be
subscribed to both, mate, so don't worry.
Brian, I think you should do a video of what's really in that closet.
I was just about to say that. We need to know what's in there.
So TSM showed his face, so I think I can show you guys what's in the closet.
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
if it's
I'll open
anything
it from
but the Pink Panther, I will
we're
be
doing
disappointed.
it live. Let me just
the big reveal. There better not be Robin's dead body in there. I'm telling you.
No, I'm telling you now. It's just
Robin's from Australia. She could kill me if she tried. You survived Australia. Do you have any idea how many things want to kill you in Australia?
Virtually everything. Yeah.
All right. You might have to lock on to me here. This is me moving.
Got you.
That was pain.
Is he going to open the doors?
It is a little messy.
Oh.
But
drum roll.
Why is he knocking? Does someone live in there?
No, it was me trying to do a drum roll.
I thought it was.
Quickly puts the dildos away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're actually hidden in the shirts.
Dildos.
Oh, so there's no dead bodies in there.
There's a dildo at the top. I can see it.
That's a cricket sucker.
We finally.
I think I got some notes over there. Yeah, those are old notes.
So wait, you keep notes on BP in your closet?
Huh?
No? Yeah?
I didn't hear you. What?
You keep notes on BP in your closet?
No, I keep those on my computer. If you saw some of the spreadsheets I had, oh boy.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Me either.
Me either.
Come on, what's in the other door?
Yeah, what's the other door then?
The other door's the way out.
Where does it go? Keep going. Let's go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Show us your kitchen.
Show us your stairs.
What's in your fridge? Can I make a sandwich?
See?
That's the point I'm getting at.
There we go. Right. Okay.
Job done.
We're good.
And now you know.
And now we know.
I actually was considering doing some vlogs or something where I would just talk like what I've been doing about Wrong Thinkers post whenever the mood struck me, because it's just like I could sit down and write all those things and be in forums and be subjected to the people in forums, but that is awful and probably shouldn't be done. So you might get things from me once in a while if I am really inflamed about a topic, but other than that,
we're good.
Are you now wearing a cape?
It's my blanket.
Now he's got a hat and a cape.
Yeah, I put on my robe and wizard hat.
I'm getting paid for this, Liam.
Well, normally when he goes in the wardrobe, it says when he changes into his super costume and then he comes out.
Oh yeah, when I become Doctor Who, yeah.
Dildo man. I don't know.
Well, guys, what is there anything else we're going to throw into this? It's the last show. You know, we're running over, but it doesn't matter.
I can finish up the thing on Wrong Thinkers post, the only other actual BP news.
Do a short version.
I'll fall asleep.
Volatility, people call
Guys,
it variance.
sorry, before you get going, I just
Yeah,
wanted
go
to
ahead.
thank everyone. I gotta drop, guys. Great seeing you all again. Merry Christmas, everyone. And thanks everyone who's a member of TFC, all the 15,000 people. It was
See
a
you,
great
Ren.
ride. Take care.
Thanks, Ren.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ren.
buddy.
Thanks,
Thanks for all your years of hard work on TFC, buddy. Very much appreciated.
Thanks, Liam. Appreciate it.
Take care, bud.
Okay. Volatility, people call it variance. This is mostly splash stuff. They're going to make it, instead of most of the splash damage hitting you no matter where you are, they're going to make it small on the outside and a ton of damage if you get hit by the projectile. They're saying it reduces volatility. I don't think that's true. I think it kind of increases it, because if you're on the outside and you take 10 damage, and if you're in the middle but you take 100, that's going to be different than taking from like 50 to 60 damage, depending on where you are. That's just going to make things worse. Defensive stats, they talk about instead of giving you super high resist, putting some of that into armor. You see that now with the new ship having 100,000 armor, and the armor plates giving us high resist and armor points. I don't think that that they're going to change some resists from like our specials into armor. People are saying that. I don't think that's going to be true. So it's going to require less of the super high resist that we see in the skirmish cycle, for example, which is good because then we can calculate them easier. But the volatility thing, what they're doing with Splash, changing it so much, that's wrong. They're just making it more volatile, but maybe on the EV it's going to be lower. But it's like the cheese balls. If you miss the cheese balls, everything's fine. If you get hit by a cheese ball, well, you're going to take a ton of damage. And I think it's going to be that in Microcosm. So I hope they do it right. I kind of hope they do it not at all, because changing something like that is probably going to screw something else up somewhere. So yeah, both things, major issues, and I don't think they're being addressed properly. And done.
Interesting.
Right in time for the nerd to come out.
Nothing seems to change, does it? Apart from the numbers. It's just more numbers in a different direction. I don't know. I don't know. I've got nothing positive to say about it at the moment. So
yeah.
Anyway, it seems like at the start of the show there, I noticed the amount of people that weren't doing bounty, so that gave me a hint as to the frustrations out there. And then I listened to Hefe's show there, and the amount of people that were frustrated with getting VXP or not getting VXP, ranking their ships over that weekend without having to spend an awful lot of coin, which is slightly frustrating. Whether that's the intention to slow the game down, whether it's just the ship type, I'm not really sure. But yeah, it has a knock-on effect as ever. So,
Mark, you should see the resource cost to do stuff just now in the game.
No, thank you.
900 million of each for that OP gun.
What?
900 million of every resource for the radioactive OP gun.
Didn't I say like six months ago, like, can you just knock off 6 noughts and just go back to sort of like normal numbers? And
I said that as well. I said, can we not go with the raids and just like cut off all the zeros and just have like 14 points for the raid?
Yeah, 14 points. That's it.
I think the res grind is like just one of the biggest aspects of why I would rather not log in.
Over 9 million.
Yeah.
It's 1 billion resources. And you get farmed real hard too. I've been farmed for res several times by dreadnoughts, etc.
Well, you know what? Get good.
I have, and I've actually started stopping them. I have.
How many resources can dreadnoughts hold, Brian?
The breacher dreadnoughts are the new one.
If they 500% you, just give Stu a figure.
So it's 40 million per hull. So you can only have 3 max because that's the only one. So 500%, one hull can hold 200 million. And so 3 of those, so 600 million. Plus the other 2.
Whatever the other 2 are, yeah.
That's some sorcery.
Oh, yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, so anyway. If someone comes and taps a warehouse on the outside of your base, you're pretty fucked. It's a good way,
Or if they shoot at something that's like somewhere within a straight line to your warehouse, you're going to pierce through 75 units and deal full damage because they didn't look at that either.
Do you know what? That's really trolly because I would literally sit there and watch someone all day filling up their resource just to take their resource.
Take it all.
Right, well, I've done my base.
And then just dump it on the sea.
Yeah, no, I'd just go park it somewhere random, like park like 20 of them or something, somewhere random in the sector, and just leave them there.
Well,
I've cleaned out everyone here. Now I'll dock them one by one and build my base.
I would say it's one of the aspects is the biggest broken aspect right now is because everyone's scratching for res because they want to install all the new tech, you build the new holes, upgrade to the 2 new levels of walls. And yeah, it's just chaos right now. Madness.
It is nuts, isn't it? Anyway, we're at that time. Hour and a half, mate.
Yeah, we are at that time. Yeah, it's gone on.
You're on your 6th roll up.
16th, you mean? Yeah, 16th. I know.
Yeah, I know. I've had to sit here watching them, and I've been dying for one since because I don't smoke indoors. Every time he sparks one up, I'm like, I need a cigarette.
Well, I'm not meant to, but
I thought you quit.
I did quit, and then I played BP, and I started again.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to go any further. That makes complete sense.
I did actually quit for a year, and then I started again about a year ago. So I'll probably give up. If I give up this time, I'll alternate years. Something like that.
Yeah, 1 year on, 1 year off, yeah?
Something like that, yeah. System, yeah.
Every leap year you start smoking.
Well, guys, we're at that time. End of the show. I just want to say it's been a pleasure to have all of you guys back on the show tonight. The old ones, the missed ones, the regular ones. Everyone that's made it tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic to see you. For everyone that come out and watch the show tonight, fantastic to see you. Unfortunately, this is the last TFC show. Never say never, but right now it feels like I want to say never.
And my hat is off to all of you.
Yeah,
there it goes.
Yeah, it's been absolutely great to run the TFC. Given, I took some time out of the show, and Mark's ran it, and Ruse ran it, and you guys have all been absolute assets to TFC, and I really appreciate everyone's hard work on the show, from the top to the bottom, from the community to the mods to the presenters. You guys have really, really took my dream of TFC and just made it a reality. So I really want to thank you all for that. Go on, Mark.
It's been a blast. It's been a blast.
I was just going to say, yeah, shut up. You're going to start crying in a minute.
No, I'm not one to cry.
Well, he's been on the wine, so he probably will.
No, I wouldn't cry on camera.
Anyway, I will see people around if they jump on my stream. I've changed it. It's TSM Plays now. But I'm going to basically just jump on a different game probably every month, do a few hours of it, see if it's any good. And see if you can do things for free. So I'm doing World of Warships at the moment and having a laugh. It's cost me nothing.
Yeah,
I've got that. That's not too bad.
That's a cracking game, mate. I'll play that game a lot.
Yeah.
It's like War Thunder, but with ships.
Yeah, so there's a few spacey ones out there, and there's a few conquest sort of games out there. So I'm going to try a few different ones, and basically just going to do a summary of each sort of game, probably an hour show and that sort of stuff once a month, just to say that this is what I'm doing this month, and just take an old man's perspective at it, and try and do it on the cheap.
Yeah, I think I'm going to maybe delve into a bit of console streaming, which will be still on a TFC. So if anyone keeps an eye on that, keep an eye on Mark, keep an eye on Ren's, keep an eye on everyone's YouTube. There's still going to be stuff going up.
That's the gayest thing you've ever said.
Maybe me and Mark might meet up every now and again and just have a little discussion on air,
Console gaming. Get out of here. You are sacked.
I know you're sad, consoles.
Buy a PC.
What do you think I'm on now?
Well, obviously a crap box if you're using a console.
I've got all the consoles. I love it. I've got all the consoles.
I've got a console. Do you know what mine does? It's a very expensive Blu-ray player.
Right.
That's the only thing it does.
Ginny, I was just putting the sidebar chart. You can follow Liam on Twitter at BP Subexpert.
And don't forget Switchblades.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
There's that other Switchblade now. There's a Proto Apollo. It's your time, man.
I was always a submaster. We all know that. And I don't know. Maybe
wait, no. There's the Eradicator. There's that sub Reaper like thing in this new raid cycle.
Why is
Get on
there
it,
a
man.
random person stealing presents from your tree?
What?
What?
I just keep seeing a random hooded person steal presents from Mark's tree every now and again.
Yeah, it looks like when there's like a live stage show and every now and again someone pops past to pick something up off the floor.
It's just like someone's robbing Mark's house and he's a live stream.
Yeah, Mark, I think you're being burgled, right?
Call the cops.
Yeah.
The anti-Santa Claus.
I don't know what,
Supposed to
look,
be taken.
there's no such thing as Santa, but there is a wife.
I was going to say Santa's really changed his outfit. You know?
Yeah, that was amusing.
Right,
Okay, guys.
Anyway,
let's end it there. Don't want to ramble on, but yeah, no, guys, it's been a wonderful time on TFC. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Kixeye. Thank you to the community. Thank you to all the admins, all the presenters. It's been a great time. Don't get me wrong, the page is staying. Some of the mods are going to keep going. They're going to keep trying to be helpful and stuff. So, you know, the page is still going to be there. There's still going to be a TFC community, but there's just not going to be live shows supporting it. So good luck, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And Merry Christmas to everyone, of course.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Whatever you're.
Merry Christmas, everyone.